You can find her on X at North Astrology. And Gracey, we first heard about you through our friend Kelly in Vegas, who is on the show every single week. And you just mentioned that you were just talking to Kelly, and she started to talk about some of your plays. And then I looked over the holidays and how you were nailing all these chief props just left and right. So if you could just introduce yourself to the BetQL Daily audience and just give your background and what you work on as far as sports betting.
Yes, my name is Gracey and I am with Northern Astrology. That is my astrology practice that you can find. And I started kind of mouthing off about sports on Twitter along with everyone else in 2009. And I was still in college. So I was at K-State, the Harvard of the Midwest, if you will. And that's where I started running into Kelly, who was, of course, mouthing off on Twitter as well. And we just started kind of meeting up at K-State games and became fast friends. And I ended up launching a podcast in 2014, made history here in Kansas City, becoming the first female host of a sports radio show on ESPN Kansas City here. And it was really fun. I had a great time, but there's just something that was just kind of missing. And I've always just had my head in the clouds. And I've always connected a little bit more with strange and obscure facts and research. So I dove into astrology and naturally started putting two and two together that I'm like, wait a second. I think I can do this and mesh them both up somehow and make it work. And I did.
Do you have a memorable moment or bet or angle that sort of made you realize that I can do this? I can take this next step. Was there a certain team or a player that really put it all together for you back in the day?
I think when I first learned about astrology, I looked up my own chart. And then the next thing I did was look up Patrick Mahomes' chart. And I did not have his time of birth. So this might be a little bit of foreshadowing into further conversation. But I got a hold of his mother, of course, and asked what time he was born. And naturally, she told me. And now I'm the only astrologer in the world with his time of birth. So that's pretty neat. I don't share this stuff usually publicly unless people are okay with me doing that. And I haven't had permission from him directly. But yeah, I just started getting really nosy and saying, I think there's a correlation here. And with sports, like one thing I've really been grateful for is all the stats nerds that record every single moment of every single game, because time is the most important thing that we use in astrology. So having the exact time somebody was born is really important.
Well, hold on. We don't need his time. You can keep that in the vault
Yes.
and you can keep that locked. But when you, and I'm assuming this is before he won multiple Super Bowls, when you finally got the time and you had the date and the place, what did the verdict say about Mahomes when you had all the info?
I mean, he's an anomaly. He's absolutely a mental anomaly. He lives a lot in his subconscious. There's a lot about him that shouldn't be in the spotlight, yet it is. And he would be just as happy behind closed doors as he would be in the spotlight. So I do think that like coaching is definitely going to be in his wheelhouse post career. He's also a very emotional person. His eighth house, which is where we find a lot of deep seated rage and anger sometimes, is ruled by the planet Mars, which is the planet of aggression. So we see it a lot on the field. And the more that I've started to translate his chart to his movements, especially since he's been in the spotlight, I mean, honestly, since he started, it's been a really fun time because like I was one of the few people in Kansas City media that was really gunning for him. I'm like, I knew that he could be a life-changing player. A lot of people wanted Deshaun Watson and all that. And yeah, we know how it worked out, but he was definitely the one that changed things.
So it's fascinating. This information, how does it help you? Because with props, you've done well. With UFC fights, and Kelly was saying it's individual events, right? Like tennis matches or UFC fights. That's where you really excel, right? Can you give
Absolutely.
some reasoning behind the timing, and if you know the date and their birth time and all that stuff, how it all comes into play?
Yeah, when you get your birth time, you can see an actual like screenshot of what the sky was doing the moment you were born. And depending on where you are locationally in the world, kind of cast the planets in different areas. So every person has all 12 signs of the zodiac in their chart. They just show up in different areas. So it's almost like having themes of your life kind of dictated by the stars and like the timing of it all. With the betting side of it, the numbers are huge. I know that Kelly has a spiritual council of people. It's not just me. Her numerologist is really spot on with the Ohio State pick. That's the one. I was not responsible for that. However, I've done the research
Okay.
and it definitely supports it. So, I mean, there's just so much that you can dive into. In spirituality, like, I guess there's a huge hippie surge in the 60s, and that's kind of the same astrology that we're seeing right now. So, yeah, it's been really wild. And injuries, too. I can see the injuries through the chart. I've been tracking. I predicted Pacheco's injury, Rashee Rice's injury, Mahomes' injury. I said it was going to be a wobbly one. It'll look like it'll be bad, and then he'll be just fine by the end of the game. Those kind of things are really wild to see, but it's all something that speaks to me. It probably looks like alien glyphs to most people, though, so I get it.
I just want to clarify. I didn't laugh at spiritual counsel.
No, it's okay.
I'm laughing
It's
because if
Kelly.
anybody I've ever met has a spiritual counsel, it's Kelly.
Yes.
That's why I laughed.
Absolutely. No,
I'm
she's
looking at
incredible.
your predictions from over the weekend. You had Denver winning, and they won big by 38. You had a big game for number 19, which ended up being Marvin Mims had 2 touchdowns. And then you had Harrison Butker being wonky. And I think that came to fruition too because he missed a field goal. So
Yeah, he sure
that's
did.
all inside the same game. That's wild to me. And you post these predictions ahead of time and then circle back after the game. This is awesome. I mean, the number 19 came out to be maybe the biggest story of the game, the connection between Bo Nix and Marvin Mims.
Absolutely. And that was fun to watch because I also predicted Pisces to be a really key part of the game. And he's a Pisces and so is Bo Nix. So it worked out pretty well.
Gracey, we don't want to push you in a certain direction. We want you to tell us and share what you have, opinions of, what the numbers, what it's all telling you. So anything in the sports world, whether we jump ahead to NFL playoffs, college football next couple days, UFC, whatever you have to share that you think is useful here. What is it?
Well, I mean, breaking news this morning, Kelly got me Will Howard's birth time. So we can definitely talk about Ohio State if you guys are interested. I have all of it mapped out here for you.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah, so Will Howard has a very strong chance of being incredibly physical in this Ohio State and Texas matchup. Quinn, not so much. He's got Saturn hitting him from a multitude of angles, and communication is going to be the biggest thing for Will leading this team. The game is ruled by a Capricorn sun in the 6th house. The people that are watching the show, tuning in for me, will know what that means, but that means for you guys that the sun, which is the biggest and obviously brightest star or constellation in the sky, is ruling over this chart. So it's all about that physicality, and bones and things around knees and joints will be key here. So managing those type of injuries and watching out for those. Will has an exalted Mars, and so does Quinn. So it should be pretty interesting to see. It'll be a battle of physicality, but Texas is going to have to get really creative here. I pulled up the charts from the 1890s. That's when the football program started, but somebody in Delaware County, Ohio, recorded the exact moment that Ohio State started playing the game at 9:03 a.m. that day. So it works out, and I'm excited to see how that kind of like plays out with this weekend.
I'm seeing 10.5 rushing yards for Will Howard, Joe. 10.5. Will Howard. I'm not saying that's what Gracey said, but that's what I took from that. Like, run the ball, be physical, maybe a 10-yard run or something like that. Shoulder into a linebacker and get that yardage prop, perhaps.
What's anytime
I'm
touchdown?
Here for it.
Anytime touchdown for Will Howard is plus 270.
Oh, okay. Thought we'd get a better number. Okay. What about Gracey? What about the NFL playoffs? Anything of interest that you
Man,
have.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at the quarterbacks. You guys were talking about the MVP odds earlier, and that was really
Mhm.
fascinating because I was looking at Jared Goff being a Libra, Josh Allen's a Gemini, Patrick Mahomes, of course, is a Virgo, Lamar Jackson being a Capricorn, and Baker being an Aries. They say that Mars ruled signs like Aries and Scorpio. Mars is kind of the planet of aggression and what people look at in sports. But I am of the stance that Mercury and the sun and Saturn are also very important. So with that being said, Josh Allen, I definitely think is a player to watch, but so is Bo Nix. So I'm really excited to watch the Broncos and Bills games for sure.
We have about a minute and a half left to go. I gave you my birth time, my birth date, and my birth location. Again, we don't have much time, but we have enough time for a good time. What does the spirit say about my times?
Oh, you were born like right after a full moon because you have an Aries sun and a Libra moon. So that means that the sun and moon are opposing each other. And you also have a Sagittarius rising. And Sagittarius rising love travel. They're very bountiful energy and abundant energy. They're a bit chaotic at times.
Yeah.
And they can be all over the place. You have a third house Aries sun. So yapping is 100% your specialty. You've also got a Mercury and Venus there. So people that can also yap kind of play into your heart center as well.
He's pretty spot on. No?
I
Sam?
I think I feel seen. I feel seen on this
You've
show.
got
I
good things
do.
coming for sure.
My favorite
Are the
part.
Chiefs winning it again, Gracie? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Wow.
We're going for a
They are.
three-peat.
Wow.
Yes. I think Patrick Mahomes has a
Okay.
Saturn return wrapping up the very beginning of March. So I think this will be kind of a karmic reward for him in his term. So make history and then they can kind of chill out for a while.
All right. Very good. Check out Gracey at North Astrology over on X and with her brand new website as well. It's all linked there on her account. Gracey, thanks for coming on. We'll have you on again, like UFC
I would
fights,
love
all
that.
sorts of stuff. Okay,
Let's do
great.
it. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
thank you.